Hey, welcome to the fourth video in the Storyblok CLI series. I'm Daniel Mendoza, and in this video, we will go over how to manage your Storyblok schema from your repo and sync your Storyblok schema between spaces. Okay, so now that we have created our project, let's say that we need to set up multiple environments. Dev for active development, UAT for user testing, and production for our user-facing site, right? Which is pretty standard across all projects. This means that we will have to require multi-space architecture within Storyblok. We'll have a space for our development environment, a space for our user testing environment, and then a space for production. Because of this, we have two requirements. We need to have a stable schema saved within our repo to ensure that we can always keep our spaces in sync in case anything ever breaks when trying to make updates. Building on that, we actually need a way to sync the schema between these spaces. Luckily, this can be accomplished using Storyblok CLI. So first things first, let's create a second space that will serve as our production space. We already created space earlier in this series, and if you haven't done that yet, make sure to check out that video. So the quickest way to do this is to navigate to the Storyblok web app and duplicate our space from the previous video. So we click on the ellipsis, click on duplicate, and let's go ahead and name this CLI project production. And we will keep this and duplicate it. Okay, let's go ahead and just continue with starter. Okay, now we can navigate back to our terminal. Okay, now within our terminal, we want to make sure that we are in the correct directory, in the directory where we actually want to manage our schema. In this case, it'll just be in the My Project directory that we created earlier in this series. So we just want to go into that directory, and there we are. Next, we want to run the command to actually pull our component schema from the corresponding My Project space. So we want to run Storyblok components pull, and then use the space option followed by the corresponding space ID. In this case, this is my space ID. You will have to grab it from the settings tab within your space. Let's go ahead and run this, and you can see that it is actually pulling the component schema from our My Project space. And there's some helpful output there telling me exactly what was pulled. And you can also see that the default is that this is saved within a folder named .storyblok. When pulling components, the space ID should point to your development schema so that it is in sync with any features you have created within your code. This will serve as a true version of your Storyblok project. Now that we have our schema saved in our repo, we have now made it easy to track feature changes aligned with our schema, and made it easy to roll back our story schema alongside our application if the need ever arises. We can even take this a step further and save all versions within our repo and specify which versions they are by adding the version suffix within the file name and saving the component schema within a folder specific to that version. Let's take a look at an example. So let's re-pull our components. We can reuse the same command that we used earlier, but now, since this is our first unaltered version of our schema, we want to provide a suffix within the file name. So we're going to use the suffix option, and our suffix is just going to be v1 for version 1. And we also want to save this in a custom path where we will save this schema to a specific folder, specifying that it is the version 1 schema. We can do this by specifying the path option and then passing in a custom path. So let's still use the .storyblok folder, the default, but now within that folder, let's add a custom path specifying that this is the version 1 folder. And there we are. Now we can see that we've successfully saved this to the version 1 folder and added a v1 suffix to the actual file name. So we have .storyblok, the default folder. We have a v1 child folder within the path. And then if we look at the actual name of the exported JSON, we can see that we have added the suffix of v1. Now, if we were to make updates to our schema within the Storyblok space and re-pull that schema, then that would be considered version 2 because it differs from version 1. And in order to differentiate that, we would recall the same command, but we would specify that it is version 2. and so on and so forth. We would keep doing this version 3, version 4, all the way up to version 1 million or whatever, how many ever schema changes you're making. Now that we've pulled down our components, let's take a look at our schema. Okay, now we can take a look at our .storyblok folder, and we can see that we have two subfolders. We have components and v1, where components is the original folder that was created when we ran our pull command without our custom path. And then v1 was the folder that was created when we defined our custom path, when we wanted to have folders dedicated to specific schema versions. So if we open up the components folder, we have the default component JSON file. And if we open the v1 folder, you can see that we have our component file, but we also now have the suffix of v1 as we intended it to be when passing the suffix option to our command. Now let's actually open one of these files and see what it looks like. And you can see that our components were actually folded. We actually have a schema of all the components from our My Project space. We even have the new content type that we created of type article within the previous video. And if we scroll through, you can see that it is kind of a lot of content, and this can be a little overwhelming if we have a lot of different content types and components within our space. So let's say that we want to manage individual component schemas on a file-by-file basis for the sake of both readability and easy access. We can do that. So let's go back to the command line, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, now within the command line, we want to run the same command, but now we want to include a new option here called separate files. And what this does is it tells the CLI to generate the schema for components at the file level. So let's go ahead and run this. And I can see that that was successfully ran. Now let's actually look at the generated file folder structure. Okay, now within our v1 folder, we can take a look at the generated files, and you can see that there is a file per component. We have the article content type, and then we have all of the components that were created upon initialization of this project. Now let's click into one of these and look at the component schema, and you can see we have the name as well as the schema, right? These are all of the fields that we added to the article content type. We have the image, which is of type asset. We have the body, which is of type rich text, and the summary, which is of type text, and then some other fields that are included in all content types. And there we have it. The definition for this particular component is within this file, and the same is true for the rest of the components. Now we need to sync this to our prod space. Oh no, how do we do that? No, I'm just kidding. We can do that with the CLI as well. All we need to do is return to the terminal and run a command. Okay, now in the terminal, we want to run the command to sync the schemas. So we will run components, push, and then we'll include the space option, which is the target space. So this will be our production space. You will have to get that value from the settings in your production space. And we also have our from option. And the value here is going to be that of the same space ID that we used previously to pull the schema from. So this is our dev environment. This is the My Projects space. It'll be the space where you're actually making the changes and you need to sync from. We are also including the path option because we have a custom path of v1 because we have the version 1 of our schema. And we also have to include the separate files option because we have created separate files for each component. So we just need to let the CLI know that this is the case so it knows how to properly read the files within the path and sync our schemas. So let's go ahead and run this. And there we are. You can see that we have some very useful output. It's going through each component and it's telling us that it's updated so we can see if there are any errors, and we have successfully ran it. Awesome. We can now manage these components pragmatically. And now, just so that we can actually see the change reflected within our production environment, let's go ahead and run our component pull command on our production space. And let's just include a custom path here just for the sake of this example so we can actually see what this is. In reality, you probably wouldn't be pulling your production schema. It would only be from one space. But let's go ahead and run this just so we can see the actual update to our files or to our schema. All right, now let's look at the folders and see that change. Okay, let's take a look in the prod folder where we just pulled the production schema into, and we can see that we have the individual files for each component again, but you can see here that we have the article.json file created for the article content type. So yay, we did it successfully. We successfully synced the My Project schema to the My Project production schema. We created the article in the My Project or dev space, and then we migrated that schema over to our production space successfully. Yes. Okay. I hope that this video has been helpful to you on your journey through the Storyblok CLI, and I hope you enjoyed that tidbit on best practices when it comes to managing multiple environments. Call me a solutions engineer. Let us know your use cases in the comments, and stay tuned. In the next video, we will be going over how to generate our type defs using the CLI. So, see you next time.